In a quiet sanctuary, far from the chaos of the world, lived a gorilla named Kumi. He wasn't the biggest or the loudest among his kind, but there was something in his eyes, a deep, ancient wisdom that seemed to look right through you. It was as if he carried the weight of generations, a silent storyteller of the forest. Then there was Marisa. She arrived fresh from university, full of hope and determination, eager to make a difference. Her job was straightforward: to observe, to care, to protect. But with Kumi, it became something far more profound. At first he kept his distance, watching from the shadows with cautious curiosity. But day after day, Marisa returned, always patient, always gentle, never forcing a connection but simply offering her presence. She spoke to him softly, reading stories aloud in a voice filled with warmth. Sometimes, she sang quietly when she thought no one was listening, her melodies weaving through the air like a thread reaching toward him. Slowly, Kumi began to respond, not with words, but with subtle gestures. He edged closer during her visits, mirrored her movements with a delicate grace, and placed his massive hand where hers rested, bridging the gap between their worlds. It was a silent conversation built on trust, an unspoken language that needed no words. Keepers often remarked on the bond they shared, saying it was as if Kumi and Marisa had known each other forever, as though time had woven their souls together. Marisa would smile and say, "He's teaching me more than I'm teaching him." Season after season, what started as a duty blossomed into a deep, unbreakable devotion. Then, without warning, she was gone. No goodbyes, no explanations, just an empty space where her presence once was. For the first time in years, Kumi waited, but she never came. After Marisa left, something changed in Kumi. The vibrant energy he once carried seemed to fade. He stopped greeting the other gorillas and withdrew into himself, as if a part of his world had vanished. Food was placed in front of him, but day after day, it remained untouched. The keepers watched with growing concern. How could such a strong creature be brought low by the absence of one person? His usual curiosity was replaced by listless stillness. Sometimes he would rock back and forth, a subtle but clear sign of distress. His eyes, once bright and attentive, now seemed clouded with sadness. Staff tried everything: new toys, different foods, even introducing him to other gorillas, hoping companionship might fill the void. But nothing reached him. One keeper confided, it was like he was grieving, like he understood that she wasn't coming back. The silence in his enclosure spoke louder than any cry. His refusal to eat was more than just a physical rejection. It was a sign of a broken spirit. As days passed, the weight of Kumi's sorrow settled over the entire sanctuary. The caretakers, who had come to love him as family, felt helpless watching him slip away. They realized that Kumi's bond with Marisa was not just a simple attachment. It was a profound connection that affected his very will to live. Despite all their efforts, the gorilla who had once thrived on love and companionship was now lost, caught in a loneliness that no enrichment or comfort could touch. The question on everyone's mind was clear: how do you bring back the spark in a soul so deeply wounded? The keepers were running out of ideas. They had tried everything they could think of to help Kumi, but nothing seemed to reach him. That's when someone suggested a bold, last-ditch effort. What if Marisa could somehow connect with him again, even from afar? They reached out to her, sharing the heartbreaking news. Marisa was deeply moved, and although she was miles away, she immediately agreed to help. With trembling hands, she recorded a simple video message, her voice calm and full of warmth. "Hi, Kumi," she said softly. "It's me, Marisa. I miss you so much. I think about you every day. You're strong and you're brave. I know you can get through this. I love you." The staff brought the video to Kumi's enclosure and played it on a small screen near where he spent most of his time. At first, he didn't react. Then, almost imperceptibly, his head turned toward the screen. His eyes, clouded for so long, flickered with recognition. Day by day, as the video played, his behavior began to shift. He looked more alert. He sat up straighter. The first time he touched the screen gently with his fingertips, the keepers held their breath. It was as if Marissa's voice was a lifeline, reaching across the distance to remind him he was not alone. For the first time in weeks, hope returned to the sanctuary. They knew they had to bring her back, not just in video, but in person. The day Marissa returned to the sanctuary was filled with quiet anticipation. The keepers gathered, hopeful but unsure of what to expect. As she approached Kumi's enclosure, the gorilla sat motionless, eyes fixed on the distant gate. Then, slowly, he lifted his head. When Kumi finally saw her, something shifted. His eyes widened and a spark ignited deep within them, the same spark that had dimmed during her absence. For a long moment, he simply stared, frozen as if trying to process what his mind struggled to believe. Then, almost suddenly, he moved. His powerful frame rose, and he stepped toward the glass with urgency. His hands pressed flat against the barrier, mirroring the position Marissa held on the other side. His lips quivered, and he let out a soft, trembling vocalization. Tears welled in Marissa's eyes as she reached out, placing her hand where his was. The connection was electric, two souls reunited after months of separation. Slowly, the tension in Kumi's body began to ease. He dropped down onto his haunches and reached for the food placed before him. For the first time in weeks, Kumi ate, the room filled with quiet joy and relief. His refusal to eat had been more than just hunger. It was a silent cry for the bond that only Marissa could restore. That day marked the beginning of his recovery, a testament to the extraordinary power of love and recognition. What happened between Kumi and Marissa is more than just a touching story. It's a powerful reminder of the deep emotional lives animals lead, especially primates like gorillas. Scientists have long studied the complex social bonds gorillas form, not only with each other but with humans they trust. Gorillas, much like humans, experience emotions such as grief, joy, and attachment. Their brains are wired to connect, to form relationships that go beyond survival. Relationships built on trust, empathy, and understanding. When that connection is broken, the impact can be profound. Experts explain that separation anxiety in animals like Kumi isn't just behavioral, it affects their entire well-being, including their appetite, mood, and even their physical health. What we see in Kumi's refusal to eat is a response to emotional pain, a sign that his world felt incomplete without Marissa. This bond between human and gorilla highlights something essential. Animals, especially those closest to us on the evolutionary tree, have rich inner lives. They feel loss, they mourn, and they remember. Understanding this helps us appreciate the importance of compassion in how we care for them. Kumi's story is a testament to the strength of these invisible bonds. It reminds us that love and connection transcend species, that empathy and care can heal even the deepest wounds. Since Marissa's return, Kumi has shown remarkable progress. His appetite has fully returned, and he engages more with the other gorillas again. The sadness that once weighed heavily on him has lifted, replaced by moments of joy and curiosity that remind everyone why they fell in love with him in the first place. Their bond continues to grow stronger with every visit. Marissa makes regular trips back to the sanctuary, bringing with her the warmth and trust that Kumi depends on. Their relationship has become a symbol, not just of hope for one gorilla, but of the profound connections possible between humans and animals. Marissa often reflects on how much this experience has changed her. She says that Kumi has taught her about patience, resilience, and the incredible capacity for love that exists beyond words. Their story is one of healing, not just for Kumi, but for both of them. Through their reunion, the sanctuary staff and visitors alike have learned a vital lesson about empathy and care. Kumi's journey shows that animals deserve more than just protection. They deserve to be understood and loved. Their ongoing relationship inspires everyone who witnesses it, reminding us that even in the face of loss and loneliness, connection can bring light and life back into the darkest places.